everybody. Welcome to the Self-Leadership Reading Club. What even is that? It means you don't have to go and buy the book. We buy it for you. We do a reading and then we discuss it. So if you are here watching live, great, welcome. Please say hi. Tell me your thoughts on anything that we are talking about. If you are watching the replay, please do #replay so that I know who's watching live and who is not. So right now we are reading the light's terrible today. Jack Canfields, The Success Principles. We are focusing on self-leadership because if ever there was a time where we needed it, it is right now. We are on principle number 25, believe it or not. You are looking to see the other principles and the other reading club episodes. You can go to YouTube at Elevates. Principle number 25 we're looking at, which is drop out of the Ain't It Awful Club and surround yourself with successful people. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Jim Rohn said that. Tony Robbins repeats it daily. I talk about it all the time. In fact, I was only discussing it about 20 minutes ago. You are watching it live. I can see there's quite a few people who have just hopped on. Please say hi and tell us your thoughts. So let's take a read at what Jack Canfield says about this. He shares a story from Tim Ferriss. If you haven't read his book, it's pretty awesome. But Tim Ferriss was 12 years old. An unidentified caller left the above Jim Rohn quote on his answering machine, and it changed his life forever. For days, he could not get the idea out of his mind. At only 12 years old, Tim recognized that the kids he was hanging around with were not the ones he wanted influencing his future. Now, let's think about this. As a kid, did you really think about that? Or was it just, these are my friends and that's that, right? You are the sum total of the 5 people you spend the most time with or you listen to. Absolutely fact. So he went to his mum and dad and asked them to send him to a private school. You can believe that? I'm not sure my reaction would be quite the same as Tim Ferriss's parents. Anyway, 4 years at St. Paul's School set him on a path that led to a junior year abroad in Japan, studying judo and Zen meditations. 4 years at Princeton University, where he became an All-American wrestler, a national kickboxing championship, and eventually started his own company at the age of 23. Tim knew what every parent intuitively knows, that we become like the people we spend the most time with, right? So true. Yeah, let's take a look at the comments here. We've got a couple of people saying hi. Hi, welcome. So happy to have you join us. We've got some people on YouTube and we have some people on Facebook watching, which is great. So great that we can stream to many places at once. We're very, very lucky right now. But think back to your childhood. If you were to go back and chat and choose and hand select your friendships, would you? Would you be a different person now as a result of it? Something worth considering. So why else are parents always telling their kids that they don't want them hanging around with those kids? And maybe you were those kids. I know that I was. I was the kid taking risks and not everybody wanted everyone to hang around with me taking the risks, right? It's because we know that kids and adults become like the people they hang around with. That's why it's so important to spend time with the people that you want to become like. If you want to be more successful, you have to start hanging around with the successful people. And there are lots of places you can find them. They are in clubs, online, LinkedIn, professionally, especially LinkedIn. Mike Murdoch, who's the Leadership Secrets of Jesus, is an interesting book, actually. Pay any price to stay in the presence of extraordinary people. I want to discuss that because I think it's worth thinking about. Right now, we are spending a lot of time with virtual people, and I see your comment. I'm going to read that out there in just a second. And if you want to be super successful, let me give you an example of that. I wanted to get on the stage for some human resources platforms some time ago. So I decided that I needed to spend time with those people who are on stage. So I found them on LinkedIn. I connected with them. I chatted with them. They are amazing people. I've got a great circuit, but I hang around the circuit on LinkedIn professionally and have conversations and have tea and coffee virtually. And I'm very excited for it not to be virtually. But I wanted to be like them, so therefore I want to spend time with them. Does that make sense? Let's bring up here. Let me show you a comment here. A couple of weeks ago, I read a question that said, who are your virtual parents? Think on people you hear the most in social media. Oh my goodness, this is so true. Thank you so much for mentioning that. You're absolutely right. Virtual parents, gosh, I love that. I'm going to use that phrase. Thank you. And I will totally quote you for that. You're absolutely right. Social media right now, I know for those watching live, it's during COVID-19. We're in 2020, we're May the 5th, I believe that we are. And not everybody knows the date because we don't need to, which is kind of awesome. But anyway, you're right. Who you are following on social media is influencing your thoughts. Your mind is precious real estate. You want to make sure that whatever's infiltrating it is in the direction that you want to go in. So if you are the person who's thinking, could this conspiracy theory be correct? Then go and follow the conspiracy theory people. If you want to be super positive in this time, follow people that are positive. If you're wanting to learn during this time, follow other people who are learning. So thank you so much for bringing that up, because that's a really great way of looking at it. Virtual parents, yeah, people that influence us. If you look at the people that influence you, who were they? They were your parents. They were community leaders. They were maybe coaches of your sport team. Maybe it was your teacher. All these people are really important in your life, but you get to choose as an adult who you want to spend the most time with. Super important, right? Here's another one. Drop out of the, Ain't It Awful Club. There are two types of people, anchors and motors. You want to lose the anchors and get with the motors, because the motors are going somewhere and they're having more fun. The anchors would just drag you down. And he was a marine artist that said that. I thought that's kind of cool. Let's see. I'm going to read this story. When I was a first-year history teacher in a Chicago high school, I quickly stopped going into the teacher's lounge when I soon dubbed it the Ain't It Awful Club. Worse than the haze of cigarette smoke that constantly hung around the room was the cloud of emotional negativity. Can you believe what they want us to do now? Got that Simmons kid again this year in math. He's a terror, blah, blah, blah. There is no way you can teach these kids. The constant stream of negative judgments, criticisms, blaming, and complaining. Not too long after, I discovered a group of dedicated teachers that hung out in the library and ate together at two tables in the teacher's lunchroom. They were positive and believed they would overcome and handle anything that was thrown at them. I implemented every new idea they shared with me, and as well as a few more that I picked up from my weekend classes. As a result, I was selected by the students as Teacher of the Year in only my first year of teaching. So again, you get to select who you spend the time with. I know a current couple of places that I do contracts with, there's certain people that I want to spend time with because they love learning, or they love teaching, and they love mentoring, and I do too, and I want to be surrounded by people like that. Or I could spend people who go in there and they just want to work 9 to 5, get the money, and get out of there, right? If I start spending time with people like that, I will become them, because we are highly influenced by those that we spend the most time with. So if people are like, oh no, it's only 3 o'clock, 2 more hours to go, I'm going to start repeating that language. My brain's going to start seeing that as a routine, as a pattern, and start saying the same thing. Oh, is it only 3 o'clock? I am so grateful. I do not watch the clock. The only time I do that is I listen to my stomach rumbling and I think, oh, it's lunchtime. How did that happen, right? Because I'm choosing to do what I love. I'm choosing to spend time with people who are going to influence me in a way that I want to be influenced. So I totally invite you to think about the same thing. Are you doing that? Are you being purposeful with the people that you're spending the most time with, the authors that you're listening to, the podcasts you listen to, the social media people that you're following? Is so, so critical. Another one here that Jack talks about, avoid toxic people. Oh my goodness. I call them vampires. You've ever spent some time with people and you feel like the energy has been sucked right out of you? Yeah, if you're watching live, tell me that you know, if you resonate with this. It's so true. Sometimes you can feel really, really drained, or do you feel energized? I've said it to you guys before. Sorry, there's a car outside there. It's not for me. I've said it to you guys before. I've recognized that I take a lot of energy from other people. And I also give a lot of energy out, right? That's what I do energetically. So I choose people that will energize me and choose people that want to be energized as well. So it says here, until you reach the point in your self-development where you are no longer allowing people to affect you with their negativity, you need to avoid toxic people at all costs. And sometimes, like it or not, it could be family. It could be people that you don't get to choose. But let me tell you that there is a choice. There's a great book. It's called Dealing with, let me think about this, Dealing with Difficult People. Dealing with People You Can't Stand by Dr. Rick Brinkman. I'm going to put it in the comments here. Dealing with People You Can't Stand by Dr. Rick Brinkman. Great book. I also do training based on his stuff. And there we go. It's gone out to the chat box there. You can see that. And what that book tells you is about people that drive you nuts. So someone who might energize me might drive you totally bonkers. And if they drive you bonkers, this book explains why they drive you bonkers and how you can start compromising on the levels of bonkersness or annoyance and things like that. So if you have to go to a Thanksgiving dinner and someone around the table drives you bonkers, you know, drives you crazy, I'm using lots of British language now, read the book. It's well worth it, well worth it. It talks about the top 10 personalities that drive us crazy and how to deal with them. It's a great, great book. Let's see here. I'm being asked here, who do I follow? Great question. Thank you for asking that. So I want to have people who energize me and give me really great learning. So the top people I follow right now are JT Fox. He's quite crass. He's very aggressive, but my goodness, does he talk total sense. And he's energizing. He talks very fast, and I like that. I follow Tony Robbins. Motivational guy, like everything he says just makes total sense, and I end up listening and following him and reading his things and going, yeah. Kerwin Ray is an Australian psychologist. I follow him, very energizing too. Let's see who else, the other prominent people. Gary Vaynerchuk, I follow him too. Again, he's a bit vulgar, he drops the F-bomb every so often, but everything he talks about makes total sense, and also he's high energy. So you may not want to follow people who are high energy if that's not what you need. So you think about, what do you need? What values do you have? Who aligns with that? What do I want to be listening to? And you get to tune in, okay? You're the chat captain of your own ship. So thank you so much for asking that question. If you are on live, feel free to say hi, answer any question. Yes, we're talking about avoiding toxic people. Make a conscious effort to surround yourself with positive, nourishing and uplifting people. And that's perspective. What is nourishing to you, right? People who believe in you, encourage you to go after your dream and applaud your victories instead of putting you down. Surround yourself with possibility, thinkers, idealists, and visionaries. And it's funny, and I wish I'd brought the quote up. Has anyone here watched The Breakfast Club? One of my all-time favorite 1980s movies. If you haven't watched it, you absolutely must. It's brilliant. And throughout the group, there's, you know, the jock, the geek, the person who likes heavy metal music and all that kind of stuff. And you find that everybody's energized by each little personality from a different perspective. It's quite interesting, really. Yeah, so Jack Canfield talks about that a lot. Let me tell you a couple of things that I want to share with you before we wrap up here on our Self-Leadership Reading Club, which, by the way, we've moved to Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m. because I want to make sure I can give you dedicated time, and I wasn't being able to do that daily. So I want you to think about this. Everybody, and I mean everybody in your life counts. Okay, everybody in your life counts. So if, you know, who you choose as a partner is important. Who you choose to team up with in sports is important. Who you choose to go shopping with is important. Maybe outside COVID-19, right? Who, the kind of organization that you choose, the culture and the nature of the people that are there is important. Knowing that you get to choose who is in your life. And you might be thinking, well, I don't get to choose my family. Not always, but let me tell you this. You get to choose to influence them. You get to choose to motivate them. I know there's people in my family who do amazing things who I think, wow, you know, they might drive me totally bonkers, but look at what they're doing, and it motivates me to do more, or motivates me to change, for example, right? If you want to be fit and big muscles, like, I don't know why I'm doing this because I do not have big muscles, but let's say you do, go and hang around with people who have big muscles. Say, hey, how do you do this? Can I follow you? Will you mentor me? Because you'll be more inclined to get bigger muscles if you hang out with people who have bigger muscles. Another example, talking to a great friend of mine about learning a new language. And I said, what is the best way of fully immersing yourself in that? Go and speak to people and hang around with people who continuously speak their language. No brainer to me. You are the full sum total of the 5 people you spend the most time with, 5 people that you follow, 5 people who are talking to you, and whether that's talking to you subconsciously or consciously, and you are one of them. So talk kindly to yourself. Oh Lord. Yeah, a couple of things I wrote down here. It's going to increase the opinion of yourself. When you have people who you really admire tell you great things about yourself, you're more likely to listen to it, and you're going to improve yourself with better habits. So that's my 2 pennies worth on it. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Today's episode is all about surrounding yourself with the best people. I look forward to chatting with you guys again on Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern. I hope you can join us. If you want to subscribe, you very simply need to find me on YouTube and hit the subscribe button. That's Ella Bates. Nice to see you guys. Enjoy the sunshine.